Welcome to Soho Sonic Studios, where I'm talking to the fabulous Georgina White. Welcome to the interview.
Thank you very much, Tony.
Now, we've spoken before and about your music, but you're also an actress and you've been on stage and so on. I want to get to the bottom of how you do this, why you've done this, and what's coming up in the future. So how did you get involved with music and singing, first off?
Well, I've been surrounded by music and singing since I was a little girl. My mum was an opera singer, so I was very, very lucky that I got to watch her dress rehearsals, and I would even sometimes get to sit in the royal box as a kid.
Wow.
And I would see her just being a powerhouse on stage. And I thought, I need to do this as well. Not necessarily opera.
No. Have you sung opera?
I have.
Oh.
I have sung opera in theatre shows and also in my own kind of cabaret style shows.
Okay.
But it's probably not my number one, my number one singing style.
So there you are, watching your mum being a superstar.
Yeah.
And you thought, I'll have some of that. And what happened then? Did you learn an instrument or music, or what happened when you were very small?
I started learning instruments when I was about 5 or 6. So I started learning the piano, and then soon after I started learning the bassoon.
Oh, right.
Of all instruments.
Why?
Why? It's a great question. Well, I'm quite a tall lady.
You are.
And I was a tall child with big hands,
Okay.
which is useful for
So you could
playing
do
the
a
bassoon.
big instrument.
Yes.
Yeah.
So and they needed someone to play the bassoon in the school orchestra.
So you got lumbered.
Exactly.
Do you still play it today?
I do. I play it a lot. I play it in a lot of theatre shows as well, because I work a lot as an actor-musician. So it's actually been incredibly useful.
And did you learn to read music and write music as well? Or are you like Elton John, who does it all by ear?
No, I read
Allegedly.
music. I read and write music, but I do a little bit by ear as well.
Yeah,
So
good.
kind of depends what mood I'm in.
I think Elton can actually read music, so yeah, sorry Elton fans.
I'm sure he can.
Okay, so then let's talk about your music career first. How did that progress? I mean, obviously you learned how to sing and you could play your bassoon and what have you. What did you sort of hit the stage with the bassoon and sing songs? Or what happened?
When I was about 14, I started learning the sax as well, because I needed to play something cool.
Yeah.
And I loved that. And that really got me into jazz. And then I started jazz singing, and I started freelancing around London in jazz clubs when I was pretty young.
Wow.
I got into the National Youth Music Theatre, and I played the lead in a West End show when I was 15 years old. So I had these amazing opportunities at a young age, but I've always been interested in lots of different musical styles, and I love manipulating my voice in different ways, and singing in a soul style or a classical style or a folk style, and then also mixing the genres together.
Is that the actress in you coming out into your music, merging between the two?
I think it is.
Yeah,
definitely. It's helpful.
Okay, and still on your singing, your music, you're releasing songs which are amazing, and
Thank you.
Love, which is the title of your most recent one, I
Yes.
think, if I can keep up with you, is totally different to what you've done before. Why is it so different?
It was actually my second single release. So if you listen to Misfits, which was my first release, it was produced by the same producer. So I think that there is a slightly similar sound to Misfits, actually. But I was influenced by the Cruel Intentions soundtrack, which was actually one of my favourite films as a teenager. And I wanted something a bit darker, a bit more edgy, very vulnerable. And I wanted to use this different side of my voice as well. It's a kind of a more vulnerable, softer, not necessarily higher pitched, but a lighter toned, side to my voice.
Okay.
And I like playing around with that.
Okay. Tell me about the one that the video was shot on a beach in Thailand, which is amazing.
Thank you.
I mean, you can't really lose she can't lose, can she? Pretty girl in a bikini on a beach in Thailand singing her song. It's got to be a winner, hasn't it?
It was a lot of fun. It wasn't planned. We went to Thailand on holiday in between shows, my partner and I, and I had this great idea of, we're here. Why don't we play around and see if we can come up with something, some video footage for this single that I'm about to release. And I'm very fortunate because my boyfriend's very talented and multi-skilled, and he filmed and edited this amazing video in various locations around Thailand, and It was wonderful to film.
It's quite handy to have around then.
Yeah, he's great.
Awesome. Okay, so again, on the music front, what's next?
Well, Tony, I have 3 pre-recorded singles already done. I then have 2 singles that are in pre-production as well.
Okay.
So I have lots of music in lots of different styles that's ready to go. It's all about timing and picking which one's next. But I think there's going to be a more vibrant, funky, upbeat song coming out soon.
Oh, that sounds exciting. Okay, we look forward to that.
Yeah.
So how did the acting start then? Because, I mean, it's all performing, isn't it, really? If you're on stage singing, then I suppose you might as well be acting a part as well.
Yeah, exactly. I think I've been acting since I came out of my mother's womb.
Were you a precocious child? Were you one of these, 2-year-olds screaming and for attention type of child?
I definitely came out screaming, that's for sure. I'd probably describe myself as quite a precocious teenager. I think I grew into that, but I matured at a very young age, and I was given a lot of opportunities at a very young age. So, it's hard not to believe in yourself a lot when you're given these opportunities.
But it builds up your confidence, I can imagine, as well, doesn't it? If you're always performing, then you're happy with yourself and you're happy entertaining other people. And of course, you were RADA trained as well. Tell me about that.
Yes, I was RADA trained, and I couldn't believe it when I got in. I never in a million years thought I'd go to RADA, because I was a singer and I'd done quite a bit of musical theatre, so I thought I'd end up perhaps doing a musical theatre course, but I wanted to do acting. I wanted to study in acting. So when I got that call from Nick Barter, who was the principal back then, I couldn't believe it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you get a certificate or a badge or something when you finish the course?
A badge. Yes, I have a framed certificate.
You can tell I haven't got any badges or certificates at all. So I think I got my cycling proficiency test badge at some time when I was at school, a long time ago.
That's fantastic. I don't have one of them.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, one up.
Yeah.
Okay, and you've recently been on tour with a theatre company, haven't you? Tell me about that, because I've seen the pictures and the video clips and everything. It looks amazing. Tell me about it.
Oh, it was amazing. So I was in the rock musical Operation Julie, which is this incredible story about the biggest drugs bust in Wales in the 1970s. And I played a hippie doctor whose partner had created the LSD that was going around the circuits.
Okay.
And yeah, it was just wonderful, full of actor musicians and brilliant 70s prog rock music.
Wow. Are you going to do another show at some point?
We'd love to. We'd absolutely love to. We'll see what happens with funding, but I think all of us are up for an Operation Julie 3.
Excellent. Sounds exciting. Okay. What advice would you give to somebody listening and watching to this who is thinking, wow, your career, you're still young, you've done all these things, you've achieved all these steps in your life. And what advice would you give to somebody who wants to be like you?
Oh, don't give up. Keep on believing in yourself. Things don't happen immediately. Everybody wants things now. We all want to see our hard work pay off. But just keep on believing in yourself and give it time. and use all of your different skills as well. You know, you don't have to be one-dimensional and just focus on one thing creatively, as you well know, Tony.
Yeah.
You can use multiple skills to create a successful career pathway for yourself.
Yeah. And one of the other things you do is that you're a vocal coach as well. So you teach people to sing.
I do.
Okay.
And I love it.
Don't look at me. I cannot sing. And I'm not interested. You know, I'm okay talking, not singing. That must be quite challenging in some cases, like me, for example. You know, do you get people coming to you and that you think, there's no hope?
I like to have hope for everybody, and I believe that no matter what standard you are, you can improve. You can improve. You might not become Pavarotti, but you'll be able to sing in tune better and improve your tone and your musicality.
Okay.
So we can be realistic about it.
Very tactfully put. Okay.
But I'm very lucky that I have some incredibly talented and skillful singers who I teach. And I teach internationally, actually. So
how do you do that? Do you fly off somewhere? Or do you do it on Zoom?
I do it on Zoom. Yeah.
That's a shame, isn't it?
Not quite as glamorous, but still amazing to be teaching someone in India and in America and Switzerland.
That's amazing.
It's fantastic. And I just love helping people achieve their goals and, you know, just feeling more confident within themselves, which seems to happen, which is wonderful.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, well, thanks very much for talking to me. Good luck with your acting, your bassoon playing, your vocal coaching, and the songs that we're waiting for you to release. Do you think you're going to be doing all those things for the next 50 years? Or what have you got long-term plans? Are you going to give it all up and have lots of children?
Oh, my goodness.
What have you got in mind for your future, long-term?
I don't think I could ever give it up. At the moment, things are going wonderfully. I have an incredibly varied and vibrant career that I hope continues, you know, for a long time. I want to explore other avenues. I'd love to do more film and TV work in the future as well. And I'm open to whatever opportunities arise.
Maybe you could be a radio presenter.
I'd love to be a radio presenter.
I don't recommend it, but okay, Georgina, thank you so much for talking to me. Your website is georginawhite.com, where we can find out all about you. Thank you for talking to me.
Thank you so much for inviting me on your show.